Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So it has been a while since I posted. I think it's been over a month. I totally didn't plan to take a break, it just naturally happened. I've had a lot going on recently. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna look completely different from last time. I had my hair cut short again a month ago. I've also been going through some grief because I lost my nan at the end of the year. And just generally I find Christmas and New Year a really hard time. So I didn't get around to filming. I was also away from home a lot because I was staying with my partner, so I just haven't generally really had the chance. But I'm still here and I decided today I'll do a little Q&A just to catch up with you guys, see what's going on. So I asked you guys on Instagram what you would like to know. So I'm just gonna work my way through them and answer what you guys have asked. So the first question was, how do you get over a loved one passing away? I feel like get over is probably the wrong term because you definitely don't ever get over losing a loved one. It just becomes easier with time because when you first lose them, it's like, how am I going to live without this person? How am I going to adjust to not having them in my life and not having them around and not being able to tell them when something happens, not being able to make plans with them? That first period of time is ridiculously painful, and I definitely don't feel like there is a way you should grieve. I feel like as long as you're safe and healthy as much as you can be, that you should deal with it in whatever way feels right. For me, I took a month off work. I had some time to process. This was my second big loss since my dad, because my nan was like a second mum to me. She was so much more than just a nan. She helped bring me up. So losing her was something I'd always really feared. When I was younger, losing loved ones was my biggest fear, and it still is one of them. But I knew from when I lost my dad that my brain personally deals with loss in not necessarily the healthiest way. I developed derealization when I lost my dad, and I still suffer with that now, and I tend to just zone out and not process it. So that's why I felt I needed some time off to just deal with my emotions, to really face the fact it had happened. That's still something that's going to take me a long time, but I feel like I've made a start. And ultimately, I think it's just about giving yourself the time, being patient with yourself, and it's going to come in waves. You're going to feel okay one day and awful the next. But for me, having items that are significant and that were my nan's close to me really helps. Pictures and videos can be quite painful, so that's really, for me, a good way of processing, but not a good way to comfort myself at the moment. But yeah, everyone's journey with grief is different. I think just give yourself time pretty much and deal with it how it feels right. That was a sad note to start off on. What's something you're proud of yourself for? I feel like there's a few different things I could say. I'm definitely proud of the fact that at age 16, I managed to delve into what was basically my dream career. I really didn't expect that it was something I was going to be able to get into for a good while. So the fact that it's something I'm already delving into, learning, training in, when I'm only 17, I think is a big achievement, and it's something I'm definitely very proud of. I'm also proud of myself because I feel like I've been pretty damn strong over the last year, considering how much I've dealt with. What are you most excited for in the new year? Well, this is the first year that I'm going into the year with a career, and it's definitely a career that I'm eager to thrive in. So I'm hoping to just develop in that, do my absolute best, and just get better at what I love. I think this year I'm just going to do my absolute best to really do what makes me happy and to just have fun, because I'm 18 at the end of the year. This is my last year before I'm an adult. I need to make the fucking most of it. How are things with your girlfriend? Things with my girlfriend are great, thank you. We've been together nearly 9 months, which is insane to me. I just got back from hers a couple days ago. We spent Christmas and New Year together. I miss her like crazy, but yeah, we're good, thank you. Do you ever question if you're a lesbian or not? This is an interesting question. It kind of goes both ways, like yes and no. I'll go for like a good few months where I'm like absolutely 100% confident I'm a lesbian, no question about it. And then I tend to have like these little periods of time where I'll just get in my head and question it a little bit. Not question whether I'm into girls in any way. I mean, I'm literally in love with one, so that probably answers that question. But it's just this little bit of my brain that's like, could I see a guy like that? Maybe I could. I think a lot of lesbians go through that. But yeah, to answer your question, I have little periods of time where I question whether I might be into guys as well. It's really not a massive part of my brain. It's not something I stress myself out over. I feel like sexuality is fluid. I think it can change over time. One thing I am confident on is that I'm into girls, and currently the label lesbian feels very fitting, so I leave it at that. Do you prefer she, her, or they, them? So for anyone confused, I use the pronouns she, they. I don't prefer one or the other. That's why I use both. Either pronouns are comfortable, either feel validating. I do like when people use they, them on me, because I think anyone who uses she, they or he, they pronouns will know how much people tend to just use she or he. So when someone actually recognises that you use both and actively makes the choice to use neutral pronouns, it feels really good. But ultimately, the best way to use she, they or he, they pronouns are to use both equally. There's a lot of posts on how to use them, like even in the same sentence. So it's like, oh, they left their coat here, she's gonna come pick it up soon. Oh yeah, I saw her the other day, they were doing good. Just using both of them is like the most validating thing, but also either or works. I'm happy and comfortable with both. What's your fave Billy song? What is my fave Billie Eilish song? I would say probably something off her new album currently. I reckon probably either Hayley's Comet or Billy Bossa Nova. Also love Everybody Dies and Getting Older. How have you been doing with your mental health recently? I hope you're doing alright. I would say I am doing okay. I obviously have been rocky dealing with grief, and the end of the year is just a really shitty time. Brings up a lot of trauma and PTSD, but I feel like I've been dealing with it okay overall. I did have a rocky few days last week, and I do tend to have a lot of ups and downs. I'm not in like the most stable headspace, but overall I'm coping. I hope you're good too. Fave colour? My favourite colour is blue. Fave show? Ooh, I've got a few different ones. I love Sex Education, love Dr. Foster, love Dead to Me. I feel like Dead to Me is probably like top of the top favourite. Also been into Fresh Meat recently. Was watching Grace and Frankie. How Much Do You Love Me? That's my friend Piper. Fucking love you loads, man. How's your apprenticeship going? So for anyone who's unaware, this is another reason there's not been like any content up recently. My doctor actually just signed me off work for a month. So I haven't been in the studio for a while, just due to grief and anxiety and general mental health. I needed a little bit of time to just recollect myself. But I'll be heading back soon. I've got my back to work meeting this week. And before I came off, it was going really, really well. I'm massively enjoying it. New Year's resolutions. See, I am one to usually do New Year's resolutions. I didn't really set any specific ones this year. I quit vaping like 3 weeks before New Year, and then I started again on the 1st. That wasn't a resolution, but I feel like I did the opposite of a resolution with that. I feel like the best way to explain my New Year's resolution is a quote I found the other day. Self-love is breaking the addiction of self-hate. I feel like that sums up what I'm trying to do this year. I'm trying to break the addiction of self-hate for self-love. What's your favourite piercing? My favourite piercing on myself and on other people is septum piercing. How did you start your spiritual journey, and any tips for beginners? I have got a whole video on my channel about my spiritual journey, and I think also a beginner's tips video. So if you want more details, check that out. How I started off though was just getting into crystals. Any exciting things coming up? I actually got an opportunity come up yesterday, which is really exciting, and I'm going to do it next week, but you guys won't see it for a little while. If you want to know what it is, head over to my Instagram account. I'll be sharing all the details on there once I can. But to answer your question, yes, there is exciting things coming up. What's your favourite thing about yourself? I'm never entirely sure how to answer this question, but my usual answer is my creative brain. I don't like much about my brain, but the creative side of it is something that I really love. When I'm like songwriting or just doing something creative, I tend to surprise myself with some of the stuff that I come up with. And also I think spirituality has made me have a better relationship within myself. And just generally tuning into my higher self has massively impacted me in a good way. Favourite thing to do with your partner? Ooh, honestly, probably something really simple. I just know she's going to be watching this calling me a fucking simp. Waking up next to her and just cuddling is like a big one. Dancing together. We were saying this recently, we just bring out the weird side in each other and the funny side. And because we just both get the humour, like it's just the best thing ever. So just being weird together. I absolutely love going crystal shopping with her. There's this one crystal shop by where she lives, and pretty much every time I visit we go there. And just being in there with her is like a true sense of contentment. Have you grown positively or negatively in yourself over the last year? That is a good question. I would definitely say positively. I've managed to push myself out of my comfort zone more than I ever have in my entire life. And as much as I've been through a lot of pain, I feel like it's taught me so many lessons and it's shaped me to be who I am today. Last question is plans on any new tattoos? I did get a new one recently. It's just a little stick and poke that I did matching with one of my best friends, which is a little sigil we created. We did like a whole ritual around it. It was fucking beautiful. In terms of like actual new machine done tattoos, the artist that I used to go to has actually started working in the studio that I work at as a tattoo artist. So because she's now working in a studio, obviously she can't tattoo me because I'm not 18. So in that sense, most likely I won't be getting any new tattoos now until the end of the year once I turn 18. But I'm cool with that. I feel like I'm happy with where I'm at with my tattoos. I got my whole spine tattooed before she started at the studio, so I'm pretty content. But yeah, I have ideas for my next tattoos. I just probably can't get them for a year. Less than a year now, so it's not that bad. But trust me, considering I'm working in a studio now with the most talented tattoo artists, I will be covered when I'm 18. Absolutely covered. Oh, there's a couple more which I didn't see. Favourite tattoo? I would say my spine piece is definitely one of them. It kind of tends to change depending on what I'm feeling at the time. I feel like my B is probably one of my favourites at the moment. Also the little moon on my hand. And the last question is, what is your favourite song right now? Hair Tie by Skylar is definitely one of my favourites right now. And also Party All The Time by Eddie Murphy. Me and my partner have been jamming out to that the last week, so I'll go with those two. Anyway, that is it for today's video. It's been so nice to have a little catch up on here. There'll be more content coming soon, especially once I'm back in the studio. I'm still active over on Instagram right now and also on my business page. The links will be in my bio, so head over there and follow me if you want to stay up to date. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!